The hallway outside his apartment was nothing remarkable. Pale walls that had yellowed over time, a thin layer of industrial carpeting that muffled footfalls into vague thuds, a single dim light bulb overhead that buzzed quietly even when no one was around. It was short, 12 paces from elevator to his door, a length he'd come to know not by deliberate counting, but simply through the rhythm of daily routine. 12 steps in the morning. 12 steps at night. Or so he thought. It started one evening in late November. He was returning from the store, 2 bags dangling from his fingers, keys in his pocket, coat damp from a brief rain. He reached the 7th step and realized he wasn't halfway. Paused. Looked down the hallway. Counted again, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. His door, which should have been at the end of the 12th step, sat quietly beyond the 13th. He laughed aloud in the hallway, the sound dry and solitary. Told himself he was tired, distracted, counting wrong. Maybe he'd walked slower. Maybe his gait had shortened. He tried again the next morning, pacing deliberately from the elevator toward his door, and reached it cleanly in 12. No more, no less. But the next night, after brushing his teeth, tossing the trash, and stepping back into the hallway under the same flickering bulb, it was 13 again. He began testing it. Morning walks, noon walks, lights on, lights off. Always 12. Always normal. But after 11 p.m., something shifted. He could feel it even before taking the first step, a strange resistance in the air, not heavy, but present, like the way a room feels after someone else has just left it. His first few steps would feel fine. But the further he walked, the more his senses started to lag behind his movement, as if each step were slightly too shallow to carry him forward fully. And every single night, without fail, 13. He told himself it didn't matter. What was one extra step? Maybe it was an unconscious adjustment. Maybe the hallway wasn't perfectly straight. But the questions didn't stop there. If the hallway was longer, where did the extra space come from? What room had lost a sliver of its length to make up for this phantom distance? Why didn't he feel it in reverse, walking the other way? He paced it backward once. Nighttime. 1, 2, 3. It should have been 13 if direction didn't matter. But it wasn't. It was 14. That night, he lay awake far longer than usual, staring at the ceiling while his mind tried to shape logic out of what increasingly felt like a subtle distortion in the world's seams. The next night, he took a tape measure. Measured the hallway during the day, from elevator to his door, then again after midnight. The numbers didn't change. 15 feet, give or take, in both cases. The walls didn't shift. The floor didn't extend. But his steps did. Or rather, the space between them. As if something was guiding him differently. Stretching the night itself. Or nudging him into a rhythm not entirely his own. He began to feel it in his bones, that imperceptible elongation. Like time itself was thickening in that narrow space. As if something walked with him in silence. Not ahead, not behind, but beside him, perfectly paced, and always invisible when he turned to check.